This is a compilation of our latest videos.
God forbid we actually want to go to the gym and work on ourselves and lose weight.
You know the day I realized I needed to lose weight?
It's a big yes food. Carbohydrates is literally what your body uses for energy.
Can you? Yes. Will you? No.
Alright, so I'm on my hot girl walk.
Lose the weight.
Okay, I usually do not respond to the trolls, okay? But I just had to, okay? Because first of all, you're a girl, right? So like, why are you hating like a man? Second, why are you hating, period?
When someone says, "I don't respond to hate," and then immediately make a 2-minute video doing exactly that, you already know what kind of energy you're getting. This isn't confidence, it's delusion or insecurity. The entire fat acceptance or body positivity movement is built on this cycle, pretending not to care what people think while dedicating hours to proving that you do. And the joke, hating like a man, is probably something as harmless as the comment, "You run?" Not hate. Maybe sarcasm, but not harassment.
Like, girls supporting girls is really the move, okay? And like, for you to leave a comment like this on a video of me literally going to a sports store to buy shoes to go to the gym is crazy. It's crazy. Okay, no, but what it actually is y'all, and I don't mean like y'all, I mean like you, and people that think like this are crazy to me, because it's like, y'all talk so much mess about bigger women, bigger people, and then God forbid we actually want to go to the gym and work on ourselves and lose weight, y'all still find something to say. Like, girl, make up your mind.
This sounds okay on paper, except she's not in the gym in this video. She was literally in a store buying shoes. That's not progress, that's shopping. And it's interesting how the people most vocal about body positivity always seem to be the ones who get defensive the moment someone questions their lifestyle. If you're genuinely focused on health and weight loss, you don't need to turn off the comments. You don't need to clap back at random viewers. You just post, do the work, and let time prove your point. So you are not addressing the real issue. Buying shoes isn't the same as running. Posting gym intentions isn't the same as showing progress. If you're going to talk about getting fit, the results should speak for themselves. People can tell when you're talking more than you're doing. You are getting bigger and bigger.
Now, I'm not saying that you're going to catch me at the Olympics next year, okay? Because one thing about me, I'm not going to go to the Olympics, period. But one thing about me is that you will catch me at the gym, getting my ass up, trying to get better for me, okay? So, sorry that you had the time and you thought you ate with that one, but no, Miss Girl, I just had to clock you for a second because I'm just not the one. And if you got nothing nice to say, just keep scrolling, okay? Just keep it moving.
But this is what happens when the fat acceptance narrative takes over. It stops being about health. So when she says, "I'm not going to the Olympics, but you'll catch me at the gym," I wish that were true. But we've seen her videos. She's gaining weight, not losing it. And now, with the comments turned off, it's pretty obvious why. You can't preach confidence while silencing feedback.
You call me fat? You are. And you're not no better. You're fat too. Baby, there's a difference. You're shaped funny. I'm voluptuous. I have things in the right place. Like, there's a difference between you and I. You're not voluptuous. You're just fat. Okay.
Whoa. Friendly fire would not be tolerated.
Next, we have an obese woman doing hip abductions in the gym. This is a complete waste of time if the goal is weight loss, which should be. And this is the problem with so much of this body positivity at the gym content. It's more about optics than results. You don't need to activate your glute medius when you're carrying an extra 100 pounds.
You know the day I realized I needed to lose weight? Oh my, it was so sad. I ordered Chinese food for myself, and it came with 6 sets of chopsticks. That's what they do. They're like, this is how many people we think are eating your food. I ordered Chinese food for myself, and the restaurant was like, oh my God, she's having a quinceañera. All the chopsticks.
Okay, now I have to Google what quinceañera is.
Don't forget Chinese restaurants are super frugal. If they sent you enough chopsticks for 6, they probably thought they were 8 of you.
Welcome back to my series. If you were my client, this is what I would tell you. I think it's like episode 2, episode 3. Anyway, I'm halfway through my client check-ins for the week, and there is a common pattern. So I've said this to a few clients, therefore I'm going to bring it to you. When you start wanting to clean up your eating, when you're focusing on whether the goal is weight loss, living a healthier lifestyle, just wanting to be better fueled by food, whatever it is, most people, what I'm noticing people do is they drop their carbohydrates away. So they don't have rice, they don't have potatoes, they stop having like wraps or bread because it's a no-no food. No. It's a big yes food. Carbohydrates, it's literally what your body uses for energy.
This sounds friendly, almost like nutritional self-care. But the problem is how simplified it is. Saying carbs give you energy, so eat more of them, skips the entire conversation about calorie balance, insulin response, and stored energy. A coach should know that. Anyone carrying extra body fat already has a huge energy reserve. That's what fat literally is, stored calories your body can use. And you don't fix low energy by dumping more carbs on your plate. You will do the opposite, more crashes. Instead, you fix your energy by improving sleep, hydration, and micronutrient intake, or by not undereating protein in the first place. The idea that every meal needs a starch ignores the fact that most people's diets are already carb-heavy. More isn't better. So, carbohydrates are literally what your body uses for energy is true, but incomplete. Your body also uses fat for energy. That's the reason stored fat exists. When you already have thousands of calories of backup fuel, constantly topping it off with rice and bread keeps you from ever tapping into it.
It's a big yes food. Carbohydrates, it's literally what your body uses for energy. So when you're thinking about like having a salad with some chicken or some steak or whatever, great choice. You've got protein, you've got vegetables, you've got some fats. I want you to think about the carbohydrate source. Can you add a wrap to it? Can you have like a crumpet on the side? Can you put it on rice? Can you have a potato? Can you have sweet potato? Can you have pumpkin with it? So that it's a well-balanced meal. Balanced meals still include carbohydrates. For the first like 3 weeks of the Great Lock-In, I noticed, well, actually my coach noticed I wasn't really eating many carbs, and I was wondering why I was tired. I've increased my carbs like 10 days ago, and I feel fan-fucking-tastic. Okay, steps feel easy, training feels easy, mental clarity is better, sleep's better. I'm waking up before my alarm. And previous clients who I've given this feedback to and they've increased the amount of carbohydrates they're eating have also noticed a difference. So just a PSA, if you're wanting to start eating cleaner, please don't miss your carbohydrates.
Feeling fantastic after raising the carb intake might be true in the short term, because carbohydrates trigger serotonin and quick glucose availability. But long-term coaching should distinguish between feeling better and getting better. So yes, good fitness advice isn't about demonizing or glorifying carbs, but blanket statements like, "Don't miss your carbohydrates," can backfire on people trying to lose weight. But fat online coaching is all about keeping your clients forever. So, fat forever.
What about PCOS? I've been told to go low carb.
How about adding juicing to your diet? Oh, no. You don't need to add anything to your diet. You need to subtract things from your diet. Your diet is big enough. That's why you big. You keep adding more things, you're going to get even bigger. How do you find your body fat percentage? Look in the mirror. Are you fat? Mirror on the wall. Who has the biggest back of them all? You do. Do home workouts build muscle for you? No. Can you? Yes. Will you? No. Matter of fact, let's do yoga right now. Everybody do yoga. I'm in my asana flow. Okay, we just did yoga. Now what? Nothing. You're still big. Everybody put your knee on your forehead. Boom, we doing Pilates. Everybody put your knee on your forehead. We doing Pilates right now. So what happens after you do Pilates? Your back is still big. You look a mess. No offense. I'm looking at your profile photo now. You look a mess. Just based on the profile photo? We going photo for photo? Body for... Never mind. Is my stomach bloated or fat? It's fat. What if I lose weight and build muscle but my face is still ugly? Well, you want to see a plastic surgeon.
Alright, so I'm on my hot girl walk. I paused Lady Gaga because I'm in the middle of a thought process. And ultimately, I think I've come to the conclusion that motivation doesn't exist. It doesn't exist how we think it exists, in the sense that this magical feeling is going to get you up off the couch and going for a walk or going to the gym or playing a sport.
This is actually a decent point. Most people wait around for the perfect mood before they act, and that day never comes. But what she's describing isn't some new revelation. It's called discipline. Motivation gets you started once. Discipline keeps you going when every excuse sounds reasonable.
And I think when we talk motivation, health, and fitness, it really comes from results and change and a feeling. But it's not the catalyst itself. It's a byproduct of your choice. For example, you go for a walk. You feel great afterwards. You're like, okay, moving my body is great. I love how it makes me feel. And you ride that high to keep it going.
Motivation is a byproduct of action. Sure, that's true for about an hour, but fitness isn't built on an hour. That walk high disappears fast if your diet, sleep, and recovery aren't in check. The real catalyst for change is structure.
So take this as your sign, this in the pink clouds. Motivation is not real. You have to create your own motivation. You are your own source of motivation. And there's not a feeling in the universe that's all of a sudden just gonna happen and help you change your life. It's just you. You're responsible for that. Anyways, here's some more pretty pink clouds, and that concludes my hot girl walk thoughts.
The bigger truth about fitness is that the majority of fat loss comes from diet, roughly 70 to 80% of the equation, according to multiple meta-analyses in obesity reviews. You can walk miles every day, but if you're still in a calorie surplus, nothing changes. So, yes, motivation is overrated. The people who change their bodies don't rely on vibes or weather, but on habits.
Making the choice to take care of and love yourself is euphoric. Wish I realized this owner for myself.
I have this weird feeling no one's gonna love me anyway. Like, I have this weird feeling no one's gonna love me anyway. Like, I stepped on my shower mat. Like, and I have excoriation.
Lose the weight. Lose the weight. Listen, everything that you think in your life is good is going to be better. Your life will be in HD. Listen to me, guys, okay? I've lost just under 10 kilos in roughly a month, naturally, because I'm not a punk. You're not about to sell me that Ozempic, Kilimanjaro, what. I'm not putting that shit into my body. I don't care if Serena Williams is doing it. She had a baby. You don't have a baby. You're just fat and you don't have self-control. So we're not doing Ozempic. You can do this shit naturally, okay? You a strong, down-ass bitch. You don't need any drug. You just need this. You just need this. You need to eat less, okay? You need to go to the gym. You can go to bed a bit hungry sometimes. You're not gonna die. Like...
This is actually some decent advice. Eat less, move more. Don't depend on drugs like Ozempic to fix what habits created. That's the core of real fitness.
Like... Just lose the weight, guys. I swear, I promise I wouldn't tell you this if I didn't want you to do it. Do it! Like, I understand we are body positive. We always will be. Yes, we can be curvy and fit and lovely, okay? But be fit and get in the best shape of your life. I'm not saying let's get skinny, because skinny does not look good on everybody, okay? Okay?
Thin doesn't look good on everybody. Maybe, but for sure, obesity doesn't look or feel good for anybody. What most people want isn't thin, it's capable. Able to run upstairs without gasping, lift something heavy without pain, wake up energized. That comes from maintaining a healthy body fat range. And saying fat and fit sounds inclusive, but but data from the CDC and World Health Organization show that higher body fat levels increase risk for heart disease, insulin resistance, and joint stress. You can have muscle under body fat, but that doesn't make the excess weight healthy.
Okay, we're not trying to all look skinny, but give yourself the chance to get into the best shape you've ever been in and watch your life change. That car you're driving, that's not your real car. That house you live in, that's not your real house. That job you have, that's not your real job. Pretty privilege is a thing. Fitness privilege is a thing. Whoever said it's not a thing is lying. They're trying to keep you looking not your best so that they have less competition. Get on those bitches' necks. Lose the weight. Don't give them a chance. Kabafa chance. Who are you? The girl with the fat ass and no waist. Or the guy with the big biceps. Lose the weight, okay? Eat less, have sex. Don't have sex, because you're a child of God. Get in the gym. Eat clean. Get lean. Get mean. Grrr. Oh my God. Look at my cheekbones, guys.
The message underneath this rant is actually solid. Take ownership, skip shortcuts, build discipline. But the science is clear. Fitness privilege isn't about looks. It's about how consistent habits reshape health outcomes. If you're serious about transformation, focus on the unglamorous things: calorie awareness, structured workouts, adequate sleep, patience.
Not Kilimanjaro.
Ozempic, Kilimanjaro, what, I'm
Hopefully the wind blows you here, fat ass.
The wind doesn't need to blow me here, bro, because I'm here more than you anyway. If you're gonna talk shit, at least do your research. It's embarrassing.
And before you start making plans for brunch, just remember, your big ass knows what everything tastes like already. Find out what it feels like to have your dream body. Get up.
Tess Holliday supposedly experienced uncomfortable event on her last flight. We're going to watch her whole video from start to finish. No skipping, no cherry picking, 5 minutes. You'll hear exactly what was said, and then I'll break down what's actually going on underneath all the buzzwords. Let's see.
Originally, I wasn't going to go into great detail about what happened to me, but given the amount of people that have reached out to me, and now that I have been in contact with United, not Delta, because I misspoke, I was angry when I posted. I wasn't thinking because I flew Delta on the way to Tampa, United on the way back home to LA, and I'm in talks with United now. I'm flying with my 9-year-old who was so excited to fly first class for the first time. He had flown when he was a baby, but didn't remember, so this was a really exciting experience for him. We're on the airplane. We are watching Lilo and Stitch. I'm telling you this for a reason, and we have both of our TVs at the exact same time. I paused my TV because I said I need to go to the bathroom. I paused the TV at about 18 minutes, 30 seconds. I go to the bathroom. I'm in the bathroom maybe a total of 2 minutes. When I get up out of the bathroom, get up from the toilet seat, my hip hit the flight attendant call button. I get a knock on the door from the flight attendant in first class cabin asking if I'm okay, to which I reply yes. I get out of the cabin and the flight attendant said, "Oh, those bathrooms are so small." And I go, "I know, did they get smaller?" And he responded to me and said, "Well, you know why they're small? Because the airlines don't make money on them." And I was like, we had a little laugh about it. I wish the conversation ended there, but it did not. He then proceeds to tell me that his sister was using his companion flight, who was a very, very, very large woman, probably my size, and that she had gotten a middle seat because she was flying standby. The person beside her didn't like that she was large, filed a complaint with the airline, to which United then reached out to the flight attendant that was telling me this and said things about his sister that made him uncomfortable, to which he said, "I never told my sister," because they weren't very nice things. And it's so crazy how you're so close to dunking the basketball, but you completely hit it off court. Because then what he proceeded to tell me was that, but he did agree that she did need to lose weight, that she was very large, and that he saw I was traveling with my child, and that if I cared about my child, that I would do something, that I would lose the weight. I then told him that I work as a diversity and inclusivity consultant with brands to help them with issues like this, with folks being discriminated against, etc. He didn't even hear what I said, because then he flew past me and started talking about how he was in the military, how he had to eat the military meals. They were full of sodium. It made him feel unhealthy, and that his German wife, who weighs less than 100 pounds, bakes their bread from scratch and doesn't eat any of the processed crap in America. And that's why she is slender. I didn't really know what to say. I know a lot in the comments. Everybody's like, you should have said this. You should have done this. In the moment, I was trying to be polite, because I'm traveling with who? My child. He then goes on to tell me that because of my size, I am kidding myself if I think that I don't need to lose weight, and that my main issue is in my belly region, because that is the killer, because all of the fat and the inflammation wraps around your organs, making it really difficult if they need to resuscitate you, which triggered for me, because a few days prior I actually had to help when someone was incapacitated while their children were there, while I'm on the phone with 911, who was a larger bodied individual who was not able to be resuscitated on the scene. And it really messed with me. So I heard what he's saying, and I hear what you guys are thinking. Oh, logically he was just being helpful. That's not the point. You don't say things like that to people. He said a myriad of other things. The conversation lasted entirely too long. Thankfully, I excused myself from the conversation when another passenger came up to use the bathroom. I went back to my seat, to which my 9-year-old said, "Where were you?" "I'm on 31 minutes of the movie. You were gone for quite some time." I then told him what happened. He was obviously annoyed. I sit in my seat, and then 2 seconds later, the flight attendant comes around asking if anyone wants snacks, to then which he offers my 9-year-old a pack of gummies, because he said it would keep him from being tempted. So I will let you guys know what happens with United, but obviously it fucking sucked.
Why everything has to become a moral lesson about systemic oppression. Airplane bathrooms aren't small because of fat phobia. They're small because airplanes are designed to carry hundreds of people through the sky at 600 miles an hour. Somewhere along the way, we decided that feelings should matter more than physics. And that's how we ended up in this weird cultural loop where people genuinely believe that asking someone to take care of their health is discrimination. You see it everywhere. Body positivity accounts that are less about loving your body and more about resenting anyone who reminds you that your body has limits. It's not about empowerment anymore. And companies feed into it because outrage sells. Every time someone posts a dramatic story about being shamed, it gets millions of views, and suddenly airlines, clothing brands, and food companies all rush to release inclusivity statements instead of addressing the underlying problem. Not because they care about you, but because they care about your clicks. There's nothing revolutionary about demanding the world bend around you while you refuse to meet it halfway. The sad part is that the truth isn't even controversial. You can be proud of yourself and still want to improve. You can have confidence and still take health seriously. Real body positivity should be about growth, about saying, "I'm not where I want to be, but I'm worth the effort." That's the version that actually saves lives. But the modern version has been hijacked by influencers and consultants who make a living telling people that any attempt to change means you hate yourself. Imagine if we applied that logic to any other part of life. Oh, you want to study more? You must hate your intelligence. You want to save money? You must hate being broke. It's absurd. But when it comes to health, we've convinced people that staying sick is brave, and trying to get better is betrayal. And then we wonder why our collective health keeps tanking. Rates of heart disease, diabetes, and chronic inflammation are rising year after year. Medical journals literally call obesity an epidemic, not because doctors are mean, but because that's what the numbers say. The data is brutal, not the doctors. Pretending that fat acceptance is a movement of liberation doesn't change the fact that excess weight shortens life expectancy, affects mental health, and limits mobility. And what's really ironic is that a lot of people in the so-called body positivity community started with good intentions, but somewhere along the way, they started fighting health standards. Now, even doctors get accused of bias for doing their job and warning patients about risk factors. How do you build a better world if you're not even allowed to acknowledge reality? The healthiest societies are the ones that can look at uncomfortable truths without turning them into moral battlegrounds. Ignoring a problem never made it go away. It just makes the consequences arrive louder later. The worst part? All this denial gets passed down to kids. When adults wrap unhealthy choices in the language of empowerment, children grow up thinking that taking care of yourself is optional, that food is just a coping mechanism, that exercise is punishment, and that anyone who disagrees is toxic. You're not helping kids by teaching them to reject responsibility. You're setting them up for a lifetime of pain. And maybe that's the real takeaway here. You can call it fat acceptance or body neutrality or whatever hashtag is trending this week, but it doesn't change the core truth. Your body reflects your choices. It means you have control. It means you can take ownership. You can change what you eat, how you move, how you think, and how you live. You don't have to let TikTok comments or airline seats define you. You define you. But the first step is honesty. Stop pretending that health and happiness are separate things. Stop calling discomfort oppression. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do for yourself is to stop making excuses and start making progress. So yeah, maybe that flight attendant was blunt. Maybe the conversation wasn't handled gracefully. But the broader lesson shouldn't be, how dare he say that? It should be, why did that sting so much? Because deep down, when someone says something that really hits, it's usually because part of you knows they're right. You don't have to like the message to learn from it. And if more people learned to separate truth from tone, we'd probably be a lot healthier. Mentally, physically, and culturally. Until then, we'll keep getting viral stories about airplane bathrooms and fat phobia, while the real issue keeps getting bigger, literally and metaphorically. So maybe it's time to stop looking for villains in every awkward encounter and start looking for the courage to change.
He wasn't wrong though. They said that they couldn't give me any kind of compensation yesterday.
I've never been quiet.
Come to work with me as a plus-size stripper.
This is your favorite body positive and fat liberation content creator.
I'm not being fat phobic. I just want to make sure that everyone is healthy.
Just a reminder.
The hardest part about dating when you're a fat guy like me.
I have been with the finest, tallest men.
Besides water, what other beverages can you drink?
I've never been quiet since the day I've entered this earth, and I feel like if you're quiet when so many injustices are happening, not just here, but Palestine, Sudan, Congo, etc., then I literally blocked my brother yesterday. I'm not speaking to my mom, my stepmom, my dad. I'm collecting them like Pokemon. I'm like, who can I block next? And it stinks, but I just think that you have to stand for something, and I think as you get older or mature, and I feel like you guys are already far more mature than I was at your age, you have to stand for what matters to you.
So Tess starts by telling us she's never been quiet. That's the understatement of the decade. Being loud isn't the same as being right. The fat acceptance and body positivity movements have built entire platforms on volume, not logic. This part says more than she probably realizes. When your response to disagreement is to block your family like Pokemon cards, that's emotional immaturity. You don't need to collect people to feel morally superior. If you've alienated your entire family, maybe the problem isn't them. Maybe the injustice isn't global oppression. Maybe it's the inability to tolerate opposing views. It's a pattern you see often in performative activism. Cutting people off becomes proof of purity. So logically, when your arm is bigger than your head, the problem cannot be the whole world. Maybe it's you.
When you see things happening, you have to say something, in my opinion. And I understand that there's like safety concerns, and I have a lot of privilege as a cis white woman saying those things, but I can't stay silent. I never will. I said yesterday, like, the right people will find you. The right opportunities will find you. The right friends will find you. The right jobs will find you. And it's not worth a check to compromise your integrity.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
The irony here is hard to miss. You acknowledge your privilege, but then ignore what it means. Most people stay silent because they have jobs, families, and actual responsibilities. Not everyone has the luxury of turning activism into a full-time identity. There's also a strange hypocrisy in preaching to speak up. The fat acceptance movement does this constantly, shutting down anyone who mentions weight loss or health risks. And the idea that the right opportunities will find you sounds comforting, but it's the same logic that keeps people trapped in delusion. True integrity would mean confronting the consequences of one's own choices, not projecting moral outrage onto the world. At the end of the day, the speech tries to sound inspiring, but it's more of a confession, a list of relationships destroyed in the name of self-righteousness.
Did she block DoorDash too? Let's introduce her to Jesus.
Or Weight Watchers.
Or Ozempic.
Her hand looks so tiny.
You like to eat?
Hell yeah, I like to eat. What you think? I got air in me? the hell is wrong with you? Asking me dumb questions.
Do I look better in pictures or in person? In theory.
Come to work with me as a plus-size stripper in Houston, Texas. Let me fix my face. This is the makeup all finished. I just need to do my lips, but I'll do that later when I get to the club.
I'm sorry.
It's this time of night. Oh my god. My eyelashes were bothering me like the last 2 hours. I don't even know. So bad. Gosh, feels so good. I'm gonna go count my money for y'all though. I'll get it tonight. I made a good little amount tonight. I made like 100 in cash, and then I got I think like 135 on Cash App, because it was 75 VIP room, and then he tipped me like 60 on Cash App. So we did good, but
What you're seeing here is a perfect example of how far the internet's need for attention has pushed the limits of what we call empowerment. Shock brings attention. This is the dark side of the modern body positivity narrative. It turns pain into performance. I do understand that there are many types of fetishes. We have seen many things, but morbidly obese stripper is on another level.
A man just threw a pickle-flavored potato chip at my car at the gas station, and I don't know why.
You okay? Are you alright? How do you know the chip was pickle flavored? How do you know, friend?
She ate it. She ate it. She got out her car, she picked it up off the ground, and she ate it. That's how she know.
But was it the flavor that hurt her feelings so bad?
That's why she's crying. Why would you throw just one?
Hey, don't be smoking cigarettes if you're pregnant. What's wrong with you?
I'm not pregnant, I'm fat, you fucking asshole.
Hello there, friends. This is your favorite body positive and fat liberation content creator here to remind you that not all bodies want to shrink. No, we don't. Diet culture teaches us that fat people should be striving for weight loss and to be smaller, and that's not the reality of life. It's not the reality that you have to live in. You do not have to do everything in your power to become a smaller size. You really don't. And body neutrality specifically reminds us that our body is not a fucking project to be fixed. Okay? So have a great day.
What's interesting about this is how it quietly reveals the contradiction that often runs through fat liberation content. It starts with confidence. Not all bodies want to shrink, but ends with resignation. You don't have to do everything in your power to become a smaller size. There's a subtle shift there, from choice to avoidance. Everyone knows that most people do want to feel stronger, move easier, and live longer. But the moment effort becomes difficult, the rhetoric changes from "I want to" "I don't have to." It's a coping mechanism. This tells viewers that any discomfort they feel about their condition is society's fault, not their own responsibility. The tragedy is that people who could genuinely transform their lives get trapped in that narrative, trading short-term validation for long-term well-being.
Next time you go to a fast food restaurant, look at the bodies of everybody else who's there. Oh, you shouldn't judge people. I'm not asking you to judge them. I said, look, open your eyes. Open up those big, beautiful eyes you have. Look. Are they walking slow? Are they talking slow? Are they dragging their feet to the front? Are their backs wide? I didn't ask you to judge them. I said, look. When you look at the people who are at the same restaurants that you love, what you'll notice is they look like you. When you used to go there. Don't go there no more. When I was 225 pounds, I used to go to Bojangles at 10:30 a.m. in the morning because I loved them fried chicken tenders, the Supremes, and they would be fresh. They fresh. So I know they drop chicken at like 10 o'clock. They start dropping chicken. I know they start dropping chicken at 10 o'clock. So at 10 o'clock, they start dropping chicken. Thank you so much, Nisha. So I'm there at 10:30 because I want that fresh chicken. Because sometimes if you get there around like 12, 1 o'clock, the chicken old, it's been sitting there. But I need that 10:30. So I would like leave CrossFit or something, do a long workout. Because I used to work out 6 days a week, 1 hour session. I was a CrossFitter, marathoner, and long time yoga and Pilates enthusiast. So I used to know when they would drop that chicken fresh, little fried chicken, and I go there 10:30, and I would get in that line. How do you know this? Because I was 225 pounds. So I would get in line, and then I would look at the people who was in front of me or behind me, and I'd be like, oh, they big. See, I'm not sloppy big. Now, I had a big back and I couldn't see my toes in the shower, but they're big. And I felt better about me being there because like, oh, I know I just came from a workout. These big backs didn't come from the workouts. You can tell by the way they dress. They don't work out. I work out. I was as big as the rest of them. If somebody was outside of that restaurant looking in, they wouldn't be able to tell the difference between me and everyone else. They would say they big. So start looking at the places you like to eat. When I was overweight, I used to only go to restaurants that had chefs that were morbidly obese. If the chef had an auntie arm, if the chef had a thick neck, I said, oh yeah, they could cook in here. They know how to cook. They know how to throw down in the kitchen, among other places. So I would only exclusively go to restaurants where somebody was big making my food. And then I got big eating that food. Look around. The chef big, waitress big, busboy big. Customers big, you big. Get out of there.
Knowing what time chicken is being dropped is commitment.
Sis started glitching, talking about that chicken.
I'm not being fat phobic. I just want to make sure that everyone is healthy.
And what does this being healthy look like to you?
Eating a vegetable at least once a week. Not sitting on the couch all day doing nothing.
Okay, yeah, that sounds nothing like the average plus-size person's life.
I don't understand.
Okay, well, if you let me
You
explain.
can't look like that and actually take care of yourself.
You and I have very similar day-to-days, and if you want to see my blood work and you want to determine that this is about health, then here you go.
That doesn't make any sense.
You want to look at health objectively, you're looking at health objectively. Here's our paperwork side by side. I'm healthier than you, so why don't we switch bodies?
No.
Shocker, I had no idea you were going to say that. Why not?
You know, because
Go on, the floor is yours.
I like looking like I take care of myself. And I like dressing nice.
Right, of course.
And
I'll give you the full package. We'll switch bodies and I'll give you my whole closet too.
No.
So I solve all the problems that you mentioned. Your life would be exactly the same, if not better, because you're in a healthier body. And you're still refusing. More about what? Your argument is that you care about people's health. Your argument is that you're not fat phobic, even though you're leaving comments saying the nastiest things about
fat people just look terrible.
And there it is.
This one is a masterclass in absurdity, and not just because of what's being said, but how it's being presented. Creating a fictive dialogue, pretending that someone out there would really argue you can be thin and unhealthy, and then attempting to prove how healthy they are. Yes, technically, a thin person can be unhealthy, but statistics are not opinions. They are probabilities. According to CDC data, higher BMI correlates strongly with elevated health risks. Pretending that being morbidly obese carries the same likelihood of health as a person maintaining a lower body weight is insane. And why the need to convince strangers online of one's personal health status?
No, cuz when people tell me they're concerned about my health, I ask them what my BP is because clearly they have to know what it is if they know how healthy I am.
How much you weigh, Fuzzy?
I weigh about 2.
That's no. No, that's not. Don't even say that. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. I'm almost 300. He ain't weigh 2 nothing. He ain't, that was a long time ago. Probably in the 5th grade.
Probably like 3 sound.
4.
You're cooked when you start negotiating your weight.
Just a reminder that I am very fat and very sexy. And I am 100% glorifying obesity. And there's nothing you can do about it.
I don't need to do anything about it. You do.
Is this satire? It worked. I am fat now thanks to you.
I'm so glad to have been such an influence.
The hardest part about dating when you're a fat guy like me is people try to set you up on dates with their friends. And their friends are also fat. And I have to say, hey, I appreciate it. That's just not my type. And they're like, what the fuck? You're shallow. Why do you want to do? Listen, we can't fit on the same bed, okay? And what do we have in common besides poor eating habits? Just because we're both fat doesn't mean we're destined to be together, all right? So yeah, grow up.
The friends think they can pawn off the fridge.
Hey bitch, you know I've been chunky all my life, and you know what that stopped me from doing? Not a damn thing. I wear whatever I want. I go wherever I want. I literally have traveled to a different country all by myself with a seatbelt extender because I have no shame in my game. I have been with the finest, tallest men. I'm just here to tell you, please don't let your little roles stop you from living your best life, okay? It's too short. We got aliens and shit, bitch. You need to be out there living your life in your little tank tops and your little string bikinis. Are people gonna look? Probably, but they're just mad that you're out there living your best life and they're not.
This is another fascinating example of the extremes of modern body positivity content, and it exposes both the performative nature and the contradictions within the movement. On one hand, the message is clear. She wants people to feel empowered to live their lives without letting weight hold them back. But her subjective experience can't be generalized for everyone, which is where it becomes misleading. She basically implies that health risks, mobility issues, and other medical realities simply don't exist. Living your best life cannot be living as a super morbidly obese person. You cannot deny how better your life would be if you lose some weight.
What water, besides water, what other beverages can you drink? Warm water, cold water, swamp water. So if you don't want regular water, just add a little spice to it. What do you eat from KFC? Water. What do you eat from Chick-fil-A? Water. Thank you so much. I like McDonald's. I like to get water from there. Ginger shots do not help you build muscle or lose fat. Why is Olipop trash? It doesn't help you build muscle or lose fat. Apple cider vinegar does not help you build muscle or lose fat. How do you feel about crumble cookies? It only makes you fat. I appreciate you. I lost weight, but the scale is the same. Is it? Is it? You lost weight, but the scale lying on you. Oh no, the AI is coming for us. It's fair, right? If it's loosey-goosey or takes a, two wipes. This is super random, but if you know, you know. Anywho, Kia, me and the baby are doing amazing. Thank you so much for asking. This month, I'm taking a break from triple dippers. Are you proud of me? You need to take a break from triple dippers for the rest of your life. What can I snack on? Water. Yep.
I like the water from McDonald's.
Just because I'm fat doesn't mean I have trouble walking.
Today's not a rest day.
Is it okay to call a fat person fat?
Do you know it takes literally 2 seconds to do?
Do you think I'm bloated?
No, it's supposed to be my abs. Hello there.
I'm sorry, but why the fuck would I not be walking around? Just because I'm fat doesn't mean I have trouble walking.
How fucking fatphobic are you? You're saying this to a chick that has gone to, let me count, at least 7 3-day festivals and a handful of 2-day festivals that are EDM festivals where you walk around and stand on your feet for 12 hours a day, and you do that 3 days in a row, and I have no trouble doing that. I'm sorry, like, do you know who the fuck you're talking to? Clearly not. Like, take your fat phobia and fuck right fucking off. Y'all are pathetic.
So you're bragging about walking, not climbing a mountain, not finishing a marathon, just walking. You say you've been to 7 festivals and stood for 12 hours a day like that's a physical accomplishment worthy of a trophy. That's the red flag right there. When simply being able to stand up for a few hours becomes something you feel the need to defend online, maybe that says more than you think it does. You've turned the bare minimum of human mobility into a badge of honor because someone suggested fat people might struggle with it. The irony is that the people you're yelling at aren't actually thinking about your step count. They're reacting to how defensive you get about your size. You can be confident, sure, but when that confidence turns into delusion, that's when people start losing respect. You say, fat phobia, but all anyone hears is don't question me. Here's the truth. If your argument depends on how many hours you can stand at a festival, maybe it's time to rethink your definition of health.
You're a warrior.
Today's not a rest day. Are you going to be the beauty or obese? Get up.
Is it okay to call a fat person fat?
100% it's okay to call a fat person fat. If you're fat and you own it, totally more power to you, but just don't ask me to believe it's not because you ate too much. And don't tell me it runs in the family, because no fucker has ever run in your family, otherwise you wouldn't be in the position you're in. And don't tell me you've got big bones, because you haven't. But younger people are seeing this whole fat positivity. That shite's already over. So Victoria's Secret started engaging a whole bunch of the Chumbawambas. They can't sell a single pair of pants. There's no surprise in that, because they're so far up the ass cheek of people who have fatty great asses.
Do you not worry about hurting people's feelings?
Why is me pointing out what you've done to yourself? How does that make me in the wrong?
Sometimes we all
Is
need
it
a mean
okay to
ant.
call a skinny person skinny?
Obesity is often treated like it's no big deal. Just a little extra weight, right? After all, society has gotten pretty good at normalizing unhealthy habits. Who needs balance when you can have convenience, oversized portions, and screens that do all your moving for you? It's almost impressive how easily people forget that carrying excess fat isn't just about looks. It's a quiet, consistent way to wear your body down from the inside out.
Do you know what takes literally 2 seconds to do? Shutting the fuck up when you want to say something about somebody's body.
You notice the captions, right? Calling your therapist and talking about your issues with self-projection. Which, by the way, is impressive advice coming from someone who turned denial into a full-time job. You tell people to call their therapist, but maybe the phone signal got lost somewhere between self-projection and self-awareness. It's always the same script. If you criticize me, you must hate yourself. The irony is that you're the face of fat acceptance, preaching self-love while deflecting every bit of accountability. Maybe therapy really would help, but only if you're actually willing to listen.
You want to see a magic trick? Look. Bruh, why is you grabbing my chicken, bro? No, bruh, I don't... Are you fat bitch?
I was waiting on the meatless bones to emerge.
Do you think I'm bloated or gaslighting myself? You gaslighting yourself. You just fat. Do body weight exercises build muscle? In your case, no. Can they? Yes. In your case, no. I'm saying you cannot. I didn't say no one can. I said you can't. People are saying I look smaller. I went from 206 to 211. Those people are liars. Or blind. I'm not sure. Who are you talking to? Ray Charles? Stevie Wonder said you look smaller? Who said that? You're craving Chick-fil-A? Wow. Why don't you ever crave water? Weighted vest, you big enough. You don't need to add 20 pounds to it. Weighted vest piss me off. You're 250 pounds. Why are you adding 20 pounds to it? I love the beach. Is there an anti-bullying policy? You tell me. Every time you go to the beach, you feel uncomfortable. You got to wear a muumuu. You got a cortisol belly. You got a menopausal belly. You got an endometrious belly. You got period belly. God damn it. When do you just have a Chick-fil-A belly? You never call it a Kava belly. You never call it a DoorDash stomach. But it's a cortisol belly? No, you got it from a thyroid belly. You got it from Chick-fil-A belly.
The heart, for instance, must absolutely love obesity. It gets to work harder every day, pushing blood through a system that's under constant strain. High blood pressure? That's just your heart's way of expressing how thrilled it is. And let's not forget the arteries, slowly clogging with fat and cholesterol, kind of like plumbing that no one bothers to fix until it bursts. Heart disease and stroke don't appear overnight. They're the long-term rewards of pretending everything's fine.
And I think that is a big aspect that is looked over, especially in my comment section and in all of our comment sections and in DMs. I replied to someone one time when they berated me with negativity and they were talking about, but your health, you should care about your health. I said, if you care so much about my health, then what about my mental health? What about this message was actually considerate of my mental health since you care so much about my health? You didn't ask anything about what time I went to bed last night. What time did you go to bed, by the way? Sleep is very important. Sleep is But I think that, there is a big component of weight stigma and fat phobia that is not talked about, that is documented as being much more dangerous than weight itself.
So now we're in the "but what about my mental health" stage of the fat acceptance, the part where genuine health criticism magically becomes emotional abuse. You'll notice how every time someone mentions diet or exercise, the conversation instantly flips to feelings. Suddenly, it's not about obesity, inflammation, or hormone imbalance, it's about bedtime schedules. You ask people if they know what time you went to sleep last night, as if that somehow cancels out everything we know about the biological link between excess weight and mood disorders. The science here isn't a mystery. Higher body fat is correlated with increased inflammatory markers like cytokines, which in turn affect serotonin and dopamine regulation, the same chemicals tied to depression and anxiety. So yes, your body chemistry can absolutely influence your mental health.
Only if there was way to fix it,
What you eat also has impact on your mental health, babe. If you eat like shit, you'll feel like shit. Your body's health also impacts your mental health.
Healthy body can help with mental health actually.
I'm recording! I'm gonna get off my double chin! Dang!
His visa got expired.
Type 2 diabetes, the body's elegant response to too much sugar and too little movement. When your cells stop listening to insulin, your blood sugar levels soar, and your organs quietly start taking the damage. But hey, at least you can keep saying, "I'll start eating better next week."
No, it's supposed to be my abs. Those don't exist yet. Welcome back to another episode of Callie Tries Gym Equipment, where I am at Planet Fitness trying different gym equipment that I've never tried before. It is currently 1 a.m. There's a total of probably 7 people in this entire gym. So let's get cracking. And I'm looking at you, hammer strength abdominal crunch. Looks terrifying. Let's do it. This is our target for the night. Looking here, it tells me to sit and crunch. Let's see if I can do this. Okay, hold this. Oh, why did that make that noise? Feet are supposed to go up, arms, we're all supposed to go to the middle. All to the middle. Can we even do that? I don't know. Holy blue. Whoa. That hurt. Not hurt. That was hard. I think because it's not, I set it at 10 pounds, but really it's all like 300 pounds of me too. 322.1 to be exact. I was at the scale this morning. Whatever. Okay.
That's not how resistance works. The machine doesn't magically add your body weight to the load. That's not physics. That's confusion with a side of self-deprecating math. and you are using your hands to pull instead of keeping them locked to engage your core.
Okay, wow. That takes a lot of effort. Did not expect that. Okay. Can we get 5? Probably not, but let's try. Blast off. Ooh. Wow, we are going to do this one at a time. There is no going one into the next. Okay. Let's go. This is working out everything. I know it's supposed to be my abs. Those don't exist yet. But it's also my arms and my hands and my fluff. We can do this. I feel like I need to change your location. 3 more. New angle unlocked. 3, 2, 1, and go. I am Hulk. I am Hulk. Not really, but I'm going to pretend I am. We got 2 more to go. I hear everybody tell me I got to do controlled movements. So I'm trying to slowly lift up and slowly come down. Holy crap, my hands hurt. 1 more. We can do this. Go. Yes. I did it. That is very difficult when you're a fluffy human. But I did it.
This is ridiculous. You shouldn't pull yourself up. You should crunch. But here's the bigger issue. Doing isolation ab work when you're just starting your fitness journey isn't the best use of effort. For someone carrying a lot of extra weight, compound lifts like squats, rows, or presses burn far more calories and build more muscle mass. That means better metabolism and a faster route to actual results. Why would you train abs? To her credit, she's in the gym and trying, and that's the part worth respecting. But turning poor form and flawed exercise logic into entertainment teaches the wrong lesson.
We gotta talk about fat broads. There's nothing worse than a fat chick who's got a fucking attitude, okay? I gained 5 pounds and I'm humble pie. I am fucking eating crow 24/7. I am humble pie. Last thing you're gonna catch me doing is talking with some attitude and being annoying. When I'm thin, I have a little bit more right to do that. If you're fat, shut the fuck up.
Caring more about your wigs and nails than your physical health is diabolical.
The mental toll of obesity, the part no one wants to talk about. The fatigue, the frustration, the guilt, all quietly feeding into the same cycle that caused the problem in the first place. Obesity is dangerous because it's subtle. It creeps in while you make excuses and stays until you can't anymore. But it's probably fine. Until it isn't.
Hello there, this is your favorite body positive and fat liberation activist here and content creator to remind you that clothing should actually fit bodies and not bodies fitting into clothing. Having to go up in a size is not a moral failing, okay? It's just proof that the fashion industry needs to be more inclusive. I hope whoever needed to hear that today hears it, and have a great day.
Every time someone has to size up, apparently it's the fashion industry's fault. The funny thing is, clothing already does fit bodies. It just fits the average measurements that designers base their products on. That's not oppression. It's always someone else's job to change. And you'll notice how that logic bleeds into everything. Can't find jeans that fit? Society's fatphobic. Struggling to walk upstairs? Society's fatphobic. If you zoom out, this whole clothing should fit bodies mantra is just another way of saying, I refuse to adapt. In every other area of life, when something doesn't fit, we adjust, we fix it, we work on it, we grow. But somehow, when it comes to fitness, The new trend is to declare the rules unfair and pretend self-improvement is discrimination.
These are my friends, and they're gonna show you the synchronized swimming routine they just came up with, and you're gonna clap at the end and tell them how much you loved it.
Okay, guys. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
You can clap now.
Oh my gosh, are you clapping for me? Stop it! Thank you guys
That's so good. We're so proud of you.
Oh my gosh, a standing ovation!
Throwing roses.
Thank you so much! Oh, thank you!
Honored.
I feel so loved and so seen. Thank you. Thank you. Arm up!
Come on, get this arm up.
You're good! I got it!
My friends are gonna show you the synchronized dance. I did it wrong. I said dance. Swimming routine they just
Wait,
came
actually
up.
start over. I scratched my nose. 5, 6.
Oh no.
It's just like a scene in Bring It On. You dropped me out of the pyramid. I saw my life flash between my eyes.
Did you hold your breath?
No.
Alright, if that's good, we could take it.
Wait, hold on. No, I splashed my mouth and it threw me off.
Mix it up.
I lost my footing. Guys, it doesn't matter. My hair is wet. I'm laying down. That'll make for a good blooper.
The only team I want representing USA.
One thing that has always baffled me about the ways in which men will approach plus size women, and honestly, not only men, this is not only in romantic context.
So, right from the start, you frame this like a sociology lecture. But let's stop and ask, why are people even complimenting plus-size women in contrast to thin Barbie dolls? It's not some mysterious hierarchy problem. It's a basic social pattern where people overcorrect. And the reality is, attraction has always been tied to visible cues of health and fitness. That's not social conditioning. You can argue culture plays a role, sure, but pretending humans evolved to ignore health indicators is rewriting basic evolutionary psychology.
And honestly, not only men, this is not only in romantic context. Sometimes just people who are generally complimenting a plus size woman do this too, but a lot of them cannot do it without in the same breath bashing another body type. And this has always really bothered me. I mean, literally, it's in All About That bass, no trouble. I won't be the stick thin Barbie doll. Like, there's an implicit put down of women who are skinny, who are the beauty standard.
You say it bothers you, but the thing is, people compliment comparatively because that's how we make meaning. We define beauty in contrast to something else. Humans naturally categorize. Tall versus short, thin versus thick, fit versus unfit. And let's talk about that phrase, the beauty standard. The standard exists for a reason. It's not random. Studies published in journals like Evolution and Human Behavior show that waist-to-hip ratios and overall fitness are associated with perceived health and fertility. That's simple biology. The fat acceptance movement often ignores that distinction. Beauty standards may evolve, but they're anchored in something real. But let's try seeing this from a different angle. Modern body positivity thrives on opposition. It can't exist without having an enemy. Whether that's the patriarchy, diet culture, or Victoria's Secret models, there always has to be someone to blame. Because if you remove the villain, the movement loses its moral fuel.
Who are skinny, who are the beauty standard. And I know that this can feel like subversive or whatever, but it just does not make sense to invoke to a woman who's like certainly definitely aware of that when you just don't need to if your goal is to compliment her. And especially when men do this, when they're like asking plus size women out or trying to communicate that they're interested in them, they will say, oh, I like bigger women. But then they'll usually say, I don't like those stick thin Barbie doll Victoria's Secret models. I've literally had all this said to me word for word.
So you're upset that compliments to plus-size women sometimes involve comparison. But isn't that what the body positivity movement does constantly? Comparing itself to toxic beauty culture or skinny privilege? You can't call out the behavior when others do it, then build an entire movement around the same logic. And you take this as evidence of a beauty hierarchy? But maybe it's simpler. Maybe some guys are just awkward. People say dumb things when trying to flirt. It's not a reflection of systemic oppression. Here's where things get complicated. Yes, some men do overcorrect. They signal virtue by rejecting mainstream beauty standards. But that doesn't mean attraction to health or fitness is just social conditioning. Maybe it's not about hierarchy, but about survival instincts that have existed long before TikTok.
And I realized that I think what it is that they are so attached to the idea of beauty hierarchy that they can conceive of plus size women being attractive in some way, but they can't conceive of being attracted to something that's not on top of the beauty hierarchy. So instead, they have to make up their own beauty hierarchy and feel like they're the only one who sees the truth, which is that actually it's better to be bigger, and being bigger is more attractive.
This is an interesting take, but it misses the big thing. The hierarchy isn't man-made in the sense she means. It's biological with a cultural overlay. People don't invent attraction to certain traits. They respond to signals that have historically correlated with survival. Sure, society defines the details, hair color, fashion, trends, but the foundation is natural selection.
It's better to be bigger, and being bigger is more attractive. Because a simple different people like different things, or we've had this social beauty norm conditioned to us that isn't what everybody likes. It's just too much for their brain to comprehend. They have to be right. They have to be like superior in some way for finding this thing attractive that nobody else does. Because the alternative, of course, is being inferior. You only like this inferior type of woman because you yourself are inferior, or you're broken, or something like that. So instead, they turn it around to make themselves seem like this sort of benevolent person or this special person.
You interpret this as arrogance, but maybe it's just people trying to be kind in a clumsy way. Compliments don't always carry deep philosophical meaning. Overanalyzing that turns ordinary behavior into imagined oppression. Or maybe, and this might sound crazy, they're just trying to rationalize being attracted to something that biology hasn't wired them for. Because deep down, people know health and vitality are universally desirable. That's why fat acceptance has to constantly justify itself. It's arguing against the most primal human software. No one writes essays defending their attraction to fit people, because that attraction is inherently self-explanatory.
Benevolent person or this special person who can see the beauty in a different type of woman, because that's actually what's objectively more beautiful, not just because they have a different taste or because they're capable of seeing the beauty in many different types of people. And what I think it really speaks to is how deeply embedded hierarchy is in our conception of romantic love, and how finding a good partner says something about you, or finding, whoever you're next to makes you look better if they look better, or worse if they look worse. And so the only way to fight against that is to say, actually, what I like is better, objectively, because they don't want to give up that opportunity of being better. It's all about being better. You can't just have your own thing and march to the beat of your own drum. There has to be some type of hierarchy. You have to be winning.
Ironically, by saying that men who like bigger women are clinging to hierarchy, she's reinforcing one herself, the hierarchy of moral virtue. In body positivity culture, moral worth replaces physical health. If you reject beauty norms, you're enlightened. If you question them, you're oppressive.
This is once again very contrary to my experience. I guess it goes to show that reality is subjective as it is dependent on perspective.
Women have a similar issue with fat guys, to be honest. I've only ever received backhanded compliments from women. Sucks all around, I think.